Hi, my name's Brian Carter, and I am AdWordsman.com. I am an AdWords consultant, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I can do to take a campaign that's not really working that well, or maybe was never really set up that well, and kickstart it into a campaign that works, that makes money, that doesn't waste money, gets you profits, that kind of thing. So, first off, you might be frustrated, overwhelmed. AdWords is really complicated. Takes a lot of hours to learn all the terminology, not to mention making mistakes and learning like you do with anything. So, it's its whole own area. Probably you're running your own business and you don't have time to learn how to do AdWords, so that's fine. You get a consultant to do it. Some are better than others. I've taken over campaigns that were run by other people, and sometimes I'm surprised that somebody professional was charging money for what they did. There are a lot of common mistakes that people make in AdWords. They just aren't following the best practices, and that's why you'll see this seal on certain people's website, the AdWords qualified individual. I'm one of those. You have to have done a certain amount of AdWords and take a test that Google has administered by a third party and pass that, and then you get the seal and you're qualified. So you should probably stick with people that have that. So the KickStart is my program for people whose accounts aren't really working in the first place. So what I do is I'll find out about your business. What do you do? What's your industry? How's your website working now? And I'll look at what's your conversion rate. What percentage of visitors are you selling right now? In certain cases, some industries are too competitive, like insurance sales, very competitive online, real estate, pretty competitive. So unless you want to spend a lot of money or you have a really high conversion rate, you probably can't even use AdWords. But of course, those are the exceptions. There's a lot of other industries that it will work for. So we look at that. I look at keywords you're already getting traffic on. I do some research to see what people search for and what the costs are going to be. And I find out what your offerings are, and so I try to create like logical groups where people are coming for this particular type of thing. Well, how are they thinking when they go from typing in a specific search to what you're offering? There's a bridge that has to happen to stimulate them to click, but at the same time not oversell them on the ad, because you want to pay for that click, so you want to get people who are actually going to buy your stuff when they get to your site. So I try to make that bridge and create like 5 to 10 ad groups that are kind of, each one has its own area or category, or maybe one type of your product or one service or one benefit or offer, like a discount. Just depends on what you're doing. And then for each ad group, I'll write two different ads, because the way to win with AdWords is to keep testing ads against one another. So you try this approach and that approach and see which one gets the most clicks, and also which one gets the most sales. You can track that too. So then when you find a clear winner, you can write another ad and test that, and so you can keep increasing your click rate and your conversion rate. And the cool thing about AdWords is that when you increase your click rate, the cost goes down to get the same position. That is, if you want to stay in third or fourth spot, it costs less when you're doing better. Google rewards you for being a more interesting ad, basically. Also, I can target areas that you serve. Like, say you're an Australian company and you only sell in Australia. Well, we're not gonna have your ads showing up in the United States, right? Or if you only offer a service in Portland, Oregon, we're not gonna show your ads anywhere else. Of course, we can show them everywhere if you want, but it saves money and increases your conversion rate to target it, so your profits go up. What else? Certain things to avoid in an AdWords consultant or company. This is a little bit of a tip for you. Companies that charge you a percentage of your budget, they aren't motivated to increase your return on your investment, because the more that you spend on ads, the more money they're gonna make. As opposed to me, I try to charge set amounts and achieve a higher ROI for you. So you want to watch out for that conflict of interest. Some big companies take on contracts and then they do very little maintenance or optimization. They're not trying to improve your ads or your conversion rates or your profits, because that takes time, and time is money, so they make more money if they're not maintaining your account. So what else? Slick sales. Obviously I'm going for the opposite of that right now. I just believe being yourself is a better way to go. So it's, of course, slick salesmen could get you to sign a contract or something like that, and you may not actually get results after you sign it. That's something to watch out with everything, of course. So anyway, back to my services. KickStart. The whole idea is kickstart your campaigns, save you money, increase your profits, get more results, and also you learn about your visitors. What do they respond to? The cool thing about those ads is you find out what people really are interested in by the actions they take. So that's it. The information and the price and all that is at adwordsman.com. And if you have any other questions, there's a way to contact me there as well. So I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.